nuyu naa leen. I greet you all in the spirit of Gambianism. It's 1:07 p.m. here in Seattle. I know that is 9 p.m. in Gambia. I just got off the phone with my people, Fat Samba and Salimatu Bangura and Maria Mafati, to be more specific. This video is specifically or mostly for the Gambian civil servants, government officials, and top government officials, and of course by extension even ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi liggéey si institutions in Gambia. Dama leen bugg a xamal ne nation building is a collective effort and it's not a one-man job. Nation building is a collective effort. It's not a one-person job. My guys are released and they are on their way home, and that is why my laajte ndax dafa make sense. For the past 6-7 hours maa ngi back and forth with my team in Gambia and the airport officials. Back and forth. Dara waralut ko for the most part lu dut stress bi nga xam ne teg nañ ko gaay. réeréewu leen mbir ne Gambian Talents has this show called the Semester Avenue, which celebrates the Gambians from the diaspora who are in the Gambia on holidays. Today, we went to the airport for two things. The first and most important thing is us being told or getting a tip-off that a flight carrying deportees was on its way to the Gambia. I sent a team there to go and find out if this is the case. Before we departed to the airport, we had made every effort to reach out to the stakeholders from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, St. PROB Public Relations, to government spokesperson, including the Minister of Information. Demba, we reach out to him for a different purpose, but of course, dinañ fa doon cabaxal li when if he was to grant us an interview. Demba ba tey ñu ngi toppa Ibrahima Silla, Honorable Ibrahima Silla, Minister of Information, for an interview. Ñun duñ dee tub rek binda or write or publish anything without following due diligence. It doesn't matter how hard the information is. We reached out to the officials. They didn't respond. Nañ jàngee ci tubaab yi ak ñi run international institutions ci Gambia. Seriously. The only person who responded to me is Alice Miko, ki nga xam ne moo amee kàddu IOM, International Center for Migration in the Gambia. I reached out to him to ask him about the deportation ndax xam na ci dara. As usual, li ma wax rek ñoom they only intervene if they are requested to go and participate. Wala ñu provide support to migrants. Everything about this deportation is on the government and I should ask the authorities. It is not his place to answer that question or IOM's responsibility to answer those questions for me, which is very fair. Gambian authorities jàngee leen si lii. Our experience as media when it comes to the authorities and those in public institutions is not okay. dañ leen fa teg pour ngeen liggéeyal askan bi mënu leen a nekk foofu noonu du ngeen liggéeyal askan bi defu leen seen liggéey te ngeen ne kenn du ko wax. ñun ñëwuñ fi to serve as a threat to anybody. ñëwuñ fi pour uñi sutura kenn. ñëwuñ fi pour yaaxal kenn liggéeyam. We are not here to intimidate or serve as a threat or bully anyone. That's not our job. Now guess what? Eventually, Fat Samba and them were left to do their job. Why did the PRO of the airport, Mr. Diba, have to leave? Lyndon Def, he said he's on vacation. He left everything he was doing to come to the airport. If it wasn't to create drama and give us hell, why did he have to do? So eventually, yes, they eventually let them do their job. If I did not go live, if I did not say what I said, if we didn't expose them, they would have arrested them, even though we did all that, they bullied them. They insulted them and called them names. Salimatu Bangura and Nyom Fatsamba know better than lying about anything. They know that it is very unethical to lie, to fabricate, to create anything about anybody to secure any form of point or to mislead the public. They know it is unethical and unprofessional to mislead the public. Tahud ñoo jóg. Li ñu tax a jóg is to show the public the reality, is to show the public facts, is to show the public what is happening in the country. And they're not gonna create anything. For those people to sit there and call them names and forcefully one of them tried to take or snatch away Fatu Samba's phone, these people have been trained enough. They know no police officer can intimidate them, no security officer can intimidate them. Nelen jox ma sa gadget ñu jox la ko. Du suñ camera, du suñ phone or anybody. It doesn't matter. It's our property. Our property is our property. If we are filming anywhere or doing anything that is against the security of the country, that is a security threat, national security threat, we can understand. We know our limitations. We know our boundaries. We try to have trainings on a regular basis and continuing training and education for that matter for my staff. That I want you to know. How my Benin Media House there, but Gambian talents, staff, interns, reporters, videographers, they are always trained. And before they go out for any coverage, we know, we are aware of the challenges involved. And today is no exception. We knew going to report on deportation, going to cover a story on deportation was going to be a challenging one. We knew it. And they were prepared for it. Believe it or not. We expected things from the deportees because we know they are coming mad. We were going to respect their privacy and we are going to let any of them go to fake and they were not willing to talk to us. We are aware of this. We were aware of it. Nyom Fatsamba went to the airport with the expectation that the deportees can be mad, they can be frustrated, they can be feeling down, they may not want to talk to them. Expect nañ lolu. Believe it or not, they also went to the airport with the expectation that the authorities and the officials can be sneaky and they don't want this to be covered, they don't want it to be public. Because we've tried to reach them on numerous occasions and we know, based on how they have done it in the past, they may decide not to give us information and they can be rebellious and they can attack us and they can create bogus charges against us and they can try to arrest us. We are aware of these things. We went prepared. We went there with the expectations that families can act aggressive towards us. And the security. But guess what? We were determined and ready to do it. So we are here to show the Gambian public what is happening. And the Gambian public servants and officials must understand this. We cannot wait for the access to information bill to be passed. Because the biggest challenge faced by us, the people in the Gambian media, is having access to information. That's our biggest challenge. It's very tough. We are seen as enemies of the state. We are seen as enemies of the nation, enemies of the people. Jóg leen ngeen def seen liggéey ku si nekk li la war ngeen bàyyi ñu nit ñu def suñu liggéey yéen su ngeen defut seen boss. If you don't do your job, we are doing our job for heaven's sake. What is the purpose of letting these people go to do their job eventually? For the record, the PRO of the airport continued to ask, Mr. Diba continued to say, oh, Fatu wasn't arrested, she was never arrested, she was never arrested. They were never arrested. What is it? Lan moy nga kotel nit right am. Ñom Fatu went there to do their coverage. For 2 or 3 hours, they couldn't do any coverage. Ñu ngi toppa ci seen waaw lu ngeen leen wax loolu la ñoo def them negotiating with you, me negotiating with you. Eventually, whilst I was doing my life, you told Fatu Samba to go sit somewhere. Ngeen daxa yeneen reporters yim àndal so that they don't see you. You called her in the office publicly. That is curtailing her rights. She didn't want to be there. She didn't want to be with you guys. That's arrest. In any case, loolu arrest la. Parce que teg ngeen ko benn place. Bima wax ak Salimatu Bangura on the phone, when Salimatu was on the phone with me, you told Fatu to sit somewhere and wait for you. That's against her will. That's not something she wanted to do. It's not something she preferred to do at the time. She would have rather been somewhere else doing something else. We went to the airport for 2 things, like I said earlier. One was to actually check if there were any deportees coming from Germany. And 2 was to do the normal Semester Avenue coverage. so pour ngeen teg ko benn place suy 1 minute sax seize ngeen right am foofu that is arrest and you cannot take it out of it. Even if it is for 1 minute, you arrested her for 1 minute. You came to ask her a statement. She knows better not to give you any statement. She knows that she has the right to remain silent because anything she says can be used against her in a court of law. Hey, these people are trained. They are trained and I'm proud of them. I am very proud of them. They know that they have the right to remain silent because anything they say to you, you can use against them in a court of law. Therefore, they're not going to give you diddy squat. Nothing. They're not going to give you any information until we consult with our lawyers. Take it to the next level. Then we go the legal way. They know their boundaries. They know where to stop. If your officers are not corrupt, if the officers are not doing anything wrong, they have nothing to worry. Like I said in the other video, Niman Kuke Kutela. In this case, the Gambia Immigration Department has a responsibility to come out. Damage control is what they do. And in fact, the airport PRO eventually spoke to me. Guess what? I had asked him, by the time I finished talking to him earlier, I asked him, can he grant us an interview? He said no. Not today. He's not going to talk to us today because he's not working for immigration. He's not working for foreign affairs. He's not part of deportation. Airport. This is what he told me. But guess what? He eventually spoke to me. Damage control. Damage control is what they are good at. The Gambia government is mute over this. In fact, they met Ibrahim Sankare, the government spokesperson, at the end of their trip to the airport. They saw him there. They wanted to talk to him and he wouldn't talk to them. At the end of the day, he wouldn't talk to them. Mom Ibrahim Sankare. Yi mo fi wara jeex. Like I said, our experience with most public institutions, you are paid by public funds. You are paid by Gambian taxpayers' money for you to do your job. Whether you are a public public relation officer, whether you are, a technocrat, whatever your responsibility is at whatever department, whatever ministry, whatever place, your responsibility you must fulfill to the Gambian people. So you are paid to be the mouthpiece, to be the custodian of information for a particular ministry, department or institution. You have that responsibility to be readily available. Like I said, the same way Ninglen contacted, Alias Miko, Genulena busy Miko, why? Let's say the truth. But mom mi nga xamne mu ngi work for ION, mom mi nga xamne mu ngi liggéey for an international corporation and organization, he knows the value of this, and that is why he responded to us to say that he is actually not in a position to give us any information. We should contact the government. We respect him for that. At least he has gotten back to us. Unlike yen ñi nga xamne yena nek di custodian of information, our young people in Germany are very desperate. They are confused. They are running helter-skelter. Ñu ngi dem di finance mbedame, ñu ngi dof, ñi ñu ngi réer. Barki de mbonjaay lañ fi binda a story. Barki Demba, less than a week ago, lañ binda a story over the weekend about this young man, Tairu Jallow from Latrikunda, German. Kiñ wax ne dafa dem back way and he got missing. Betay ji ñetti atangi ni family am gisuñ ko dégguñ ko. Barki Dembo Njaay over 2 weeks family boobu maa ngi in touch with them. ñu ngi maa laajte pour ma sàkkul leen dimbal ne dañ bëgg a gis kooku xamuñ fu mu nekk. Xam ngeen kooku lan la family am daj. Suma own cousin Basiru Joof musuma papa Musa. A year ago la mujjee binda story on him. We don't see him. We don't know where he is. Papa mak suma papa ñoo bokk ndey ak baay. Suma cousin dem back way gisuñ ko. Mu ngi missing. Weda xale yi dañ leen jàpp ci jéel yi, weda dañ leen rey foofu, whatsoever. Léegi ñi ci dunda ñu dem ba àgga foofu noonu. They are very frustrated. Again, like I said in the video I did on Gambian talents, we know that you have no right to tell any country not to deport anybody they want out of their country. We know you don't have that right. Xam nañ loolu. Mënu leen a wax benn country will deport seen citizens. But you have a responsibility to be able to advocate for your citizens to make sure that suñ leen a deport sax nañ leen deport genuinely, nañ leen deport out of decency, nañ leen toppatoo, nañ leen take care, nañ leen jox seen gëdda, nañ xam ne they are people and they should be treated with dignity and respect. That's one thing that you can advocate for. Number two, you can advocate for privileges. You can advocate for certain things that the people can have, which could include new provider lane training for Germany or Europe, which could include new provider lane or bill eye centers in the Gambia and the like. even institution like our institution Gambian Talent Promotion ngeen jël ñu dooleel ñu jox ñu doole jox ñu equipment jox ñu place foo xam ne dinañ fa mun a dem di jàngal xale yi métier as we are doing support ngeen ñu supportu leen ñu ñun continuer nañ di def suñ part maa ngi continuer di góorgóorlu di gooto lu ndaw luñ am ñu ngi ko jël di ko yónnee xale yi ñu ngi koy suturaal seen bopp di jàng métier léegi yéen jàppalewu leen ma pour man ma empower ndaw yi léegi ngeen bugg a damma suñuy laaf ngeen bugg a damma sumay laaf because li ngeen def you are frustrating these kids. Salimatu Bangura, I just spoke to her like 15 minutes ago. I started this video about 10 minutes ago. I was teasing Salimatu Maneko, were you scared today? No, sir, I wasn't scared. The last time I was scared is at the Independence Stadium when we had our issue with JCB Mendy. I'm not scared of these police anymore. For example, we aga kër xam naa family will start to talk, will start to ask her lan moo tax nga def lii bàyyi leen lii police yi yow kenn doo journalist si dëkk bi. These are the type of words that we hear from our family members. Te comme ni ma ko waxee in my video duma dee defloo kenn lu ma defut. I did this myself when I came to Gambia and I interviewed that young man in the plane together with the Nikodon escort, Belgian police, Nikodon export. I interviewed them in the plane when I got a tip off that they were deporting him. I interviewed the police, I interviewed the young man. We came to Gambia, manadama interview immigration and captured them. They said, ne do xew. You know, ma jox leen suma telephone over my dead body. I wouldn't give them my phone. I kept my phone. I wouldn't give it to them. I asked them what law in the Gambia or in Gambian books or constitution told you I can give you my phone. They couldn't quote me any law. They couldn't quote me any law. They have no right to take my gadgets. My phone is my phone. They wanted to tell me to delete the video. Just like they are requesting. Li xew ci ñoom Fat Samba nii man dama ko dunda. Dama ko dunda in Gambia. Over 7-8 of them ñoo talk in the office. Seen boss yëpp ci airport bi. They had to negotiate with me eventually because I wasn't doing anything wrong. So lii moo fi war a jeex. When it comes to the Ministry of Health, ñu soxla anything especially si jamono ji ñu ne call Mr. Njai Modou Njai, Director of Health Promotion. Mr. Njai, for heaven's sake, is barely available to pick up his phone. He is nowhere to be seen. For the most part, whether Danko call or them officer he is barely accessible. Kooku moo war a nekk di mouthpiece kooku mooy joxe information léegi suñ publisher wala wax anything about corona wala health related issues ñu ne yes yéen journalists yi da ngeen war a lii you should confirm things before you go. My doors are always open. Your doors are never open, for heaven's sake. It's not you alone, all of you. The Gambia Police Force is only till about 2 months ago or 3 months ago that their PRO Lamin Jai has been responding to us. I will give him that credit. Right now he's proactive. Even to respond every day, he can respond the next day. I still give it to him because before du ñu daan faale sax nag dinañ ko call du jël téléphone dinañ ko text du jël téléphone ñun ñëwuñ fi pour yàqa deri kenn. And I used to call him one of the worst PROs of the Gambian institution, Lamin Jai. I used to call him that, the PRO of the Gambia Police Force. But now I will say ñun lu xew dañoo wax duñ ci yokka duñ ci wàññi. I will say that right now he is doing very well compared to how he used to be before. Because he will respond to us, even if it is not immediately, if it is not the next day, but he will respond at the soonest possible time. That's it with Lamin Jai. Nga jógee fa dem foreign affairs. Seexu Siise wax naa leen ko si gannaaw suma ndoo la maa ko senior sense suma ndoo la. I know him, he knows me from back in school. And he has my contact, I have his contact. We will communicate. Ben week or 2 weeks to pass it, send out new colorful text that they've nicely written about the activities of the minister or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, etc. He sends us all of these things. He sends it to us. So he knows how to reach us. I have his number. He calls me on, I send him messages on WhatsApp. Su ko neexee mu tontu ñu, su ko neexee du ñu tontu. And for the most part, he doesn't. On November 23rd, when I reached out to him about this issue of deportation, he got back to me very late and told me ne ñoom ñu ngi get together as a government. They want to make sure that all stakeholders come together and release one joint statement just for the sake of consistency, which we would have respected. That statement never came out about this deportation. So Sehu barely responds to anything. And he's supposed to be the custodian of information. Léegi suñ génnee ñu wax ñu binda anything wala public bi génn wax wala askan bi wax wala deportees yi wax ñu ne li ñu wax amut. Last week bi gaay bindee ne Gambia government sign nañ agreement ak Switzerland pour protect Gambians from deportation. That's what they said. They have a big backlash on that. Go and look at the comments on our page. People say that's a lie. They actually signed a deportation. Massimo Mudu Sabali gina and dañoo fenal niti buñ mislead public bi let them tell the public the truth. The Gambia government must desist from misleading people, from giving false information to the people. That is the list that is expected from you. It doesn't matter what department. So ngeen def seen liggéey ba last minute until things start to go wrong ngeen si buga ñëw di def damage control. It's not okay. It's not fair to the citizens or to the people. It's not fair to the people. If you are issuing travel documents for Gambians to be deported, you owe them that right to tell them, ñun kat ku ñu ñëw laaj ki dinañ leen jox travel document. Am ngeen a role in this. That I can say. You have a role in this. Yen deportu leen kende, you are not deporting anyone. I will keep repeating that for people in Germany and Europe and other places to know that the government cannot deport you and mënuñoo tere benn government from deporting you. But am nañ ci cër. There is a part they can play. They can delay the process. They can negotiate for opportunities and benefits on your behalf. Su lekkee olom gërëmee ko coy suma toog America tey is because of the fact ne Gambia government Yaya Jammeh to be more specific dafa delay that process ci suma time. Wax naa leen ko over and over. In 2008, on May 10, 2008, I was arrested while sitting in my home and I was sleeping at my house in Atlanta. Guy ñoo jël si ma foofu arrest ma yóbbu ma dem tëj ma jail. Good 4 months maa ngi si jail bi dañ ma pare woon a deport to Gambia ndekoon tey du ma toog fi ma toog ni America. The only reason lu tax ñibbiwuma gannaaw yàlla ak ndogali yàlla mooy the fact ne the government of the Gambia, the government of President Yaya Jammeh had refused to give travel, not refused, had delayed the process of issuing travel document si jamono jooju noonu. Ci jamono jooju that bought time because loi America mooy wax ne suñ la jàppee within 3 months amuñ a travel document for you. What the law says is they need to release you. And guess what? After 3 months, getting to the 4th month, after my case was reviewed, I was released on an order of supervision and put on a monitoring bracelet. Man, lima wax ni li luma dundala, and I'm very passionate about it. I was put on a monitoring bracelet. Suma tanka bi bracelet bi open a li. Suma tanka bi juróom ñeneenti weer 9 months is on my leg. They've done everything to frustrate me, the American immigration. Lima am si kayit open a am xapalaka. Kerak rek maa ngi won suma yaay li ma renew si work permit America fii ëpp na 10 each year ma fay $345 pour renew that work permit. Gannaaw bi nga xamee ne 2008 yaaxa nañ suma kayit everything ma am pour start from scratch. But guess what? When I was released from from immigration detention, it enabled me to be able to get started, get myself together, and eventually ma mujjee rekindle suma immigration case ba jot suma kayit yi. And this is very important. So dumay caaxaane lii. I don't joke with it. Maa ngi fi am jaboot Gambia. They would have ruined my life. It's people's life that are at stake here. People's parents sold their houses. Nit ñi seen parents yi dañ jaay seen kër yi. Ñii seen parents yi jaay seen takkaay yi. Ñii dem tappale. Ñenn ñi sàcca. People did all kinds of things because they believe that Europe is the promised land. They risk their life to go through the back way, negotiate deals for them, create the conducive environment for them, motivate them. Bulen sacrifice ninyo just because you are there. When you go to identify them, yen immigration, we know is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the government, the executive that is responsible for, signing the deals and agreements, the international corporations am. We are aware of these things. Gambia is a signatory to a lot of international charters, treaties, and the like. We know we are part of the international conventions. We are part of the United Nations. All other, Commonwealth, we know that you have obligations. We know that it is your right. Again, what protects citizens, and one of them is to facilitate the smooth return of your citizens to fake any challenges. We know that by providing them travel documents, but advocate for your citizens. Su ngeen demee bu leen nekk ay banga nooy tubaab bi wax leen dara rek ngeen nangu seen interest la ñoo toppa xaalis yu ndaw yi leen tubaab bi di jox boom tax ngeen sacrifice citizens yi. At the end of the day there is a big security threat. Man wax naa leen ko interview naa ndaw yi ñu si bari si ñoom ñu ñëw ne ma waaw su ngeen ñu indee su gaay caaxaane bañ delloo ñu si dëkk bi when they return us back to Gambia we will bomb that country. We thought they were joking. Okay, dang ma ne dañoo bomb dëkk bi rek du ma la seetaan. I interviewed them and I asked them naka ngeen a bombee dëkk bi. You will be surprised that a good number of these youths who have been through the back way, while they were in Libya, they had this man called Gangster, and this is something that I've had a lot of clear information on. I have done thorough research on it. This man called Gangster who was in Libya, he was training our youth how to make bombs. How to make bombs, and I've interviewed people who demonstrated to me verbally ñu wax ma step by step lan lañ soxla pour defar bomb. I am saying this because I interviewed these young people. They know how to make bombs. This is not a joke. Lii du caaxaan. Ngeen jël ndaw yi facilitate them to be deported without ñu am dara luñ jàppa ñu ñëw Gambia IOM ekati benn 65 euros comme ni ko Alias mi ko waxee ne loolu lañ leen a jox they give them 65 euros $2,500 is what IOM told me. Alias mi ko told me ne loolu lañ jox ñi mujjee ñëw in November on November 19 flight bu ñëw 65 euros lañ leen jox and that's standard. That's what they give everybody for those people to be returned. Yéen ngeen seetaan no. There's a security threat and the government must do better. So ñëwee si health sector bi lopitaan yi nit dina feebar ba bugg a dee ñu bari duñ ko nangoo toppatoo du nurses yi du doctors yi du people. Okay, dama nekk on vacation, dama nekk on break. While somebody is dying, you are supposed to be a nurse, you are supposed to be a doctor, you are there on your phone doing something, you are there busy doing something. Ngeen da nga am ngente, da nga am takka, da nga am xew. Dafa loolu tax na ba doo toppatoo li nga war a toppatoo. Loolu tax na ba doo def sa liggéey. Wala da nga am pour teel a ñibbi because you already have personal plans. Even if you need to work late, you will not work late, you will not stay at the work, you will not do anything because you have been told. Because you have other personal plans. It doesn't matter whether the next person dies or not. You see, healthcare sector, that is unfair to the public. That is unfair to the public. You are joking with people's lives. I just mentioned immigration. But tey ngeen dem di lijjanti passport. Somebody needs to travel. Di lijjanti passport. Ngeen caaxaanee ko. Ngeen caaxaanee ko. If somebody needs to travel, they need a passport. Wala ID card. In order to be able to have A, B, and C. ñu ñëw lijjanti lii yéen da ngeen am pour jël days off. Bi suma yaay di ñëw fii we had an experience. They made a passport for her. Passport am bi ñu make a mistake on the date of birth. We went back for the second time pour correct loolu because she's been here before. Su demee American embassy duñ ko doon nangoo joxaat duñ ko doon nangoo jox visa wala dinañ doon xam ne ok kii passport bi there discrepancies or whatsoever. ñu ne dafa am 3 people ñu war a sit. 3 people should sit over this to actually discuss it. Because there is fraud or whatever, for affidavit, they have to interview her whatsoever. You will be surprised that it took few weeks. Yoo xam ne every week kenn ki dafa am dëj te ñoom ñetta yëpp dañ am pour toog kat ñoom ñetta yëpp dañ am pour toog kenn ki dafa am dëj moo tax munuñ koo def. The next time keneen ki dafa am ngénte munuñoo toog. The next time kenn ki weekend off am la o weekend off la dafa lii su kii ñëwee kele du fa nekk su kele ñëwee kele du fa nekk. This is personal experience I'm giving. Su kii ñëwee kele du fa nekk su kele ñëwee kele du fa nekk. And eventually twist and turn. Tay elect. It's not okay. I had to contact their director to ask him what is going on. Because it's not right. It's not right. Because Pa Ousman has access to talk to the director, to ask the director. How about the ordinary Gambians? Ñu amul directors. Ñu amul directors. Ñu xamul directors yi ñu nekkul journalists. I was investigating it. I told him this is not right. How can we have this? You know, 3 people ñoo war a talk. There must be a system in place. Citizens should not be held hostage because somebody's father died. They should not be held hostage because somebody has ngente. That's not fair. With all due respect, we are all people. Ñun ñep ay Gambian lañ. Why should people be held hostage because these things happen? It's not okay. It's not okay. Di nga dem si police yi ñu ne dañoo defar driver's license right now ñu ngeen lijjanti loolu. Ngeen ñëw dugg nit jaar yooni gannaaw ñëw fay la ngeen defaral ko driver's license. Ku musuta dem def any road test, ku musuta def any road signs or whatsoever. No wonder accidents are too many in the country. Bu leen di joke with people's lives and livelihood. Nga dem Ministry of Education, the same thing. Nit dafa wara ñëw liggéey si su ñëwee toog, the first thing that the staff do is dem lijjanti ndewo. This is customary and typical in Gambia. The first thing that people do su ñëwee is everybody has to go ndewo. By 11 o'clock, people in Gambia, you can barely have anything to do. Civil servants si change leen seen life. Change leen seen life. It's been a minute. You didn't see Pa Ousman. I don't even remember the last time I went live on my own personal page. I don't remember. But I know you follow me here. I just did one on the Gambian television page, but I know you follow me here, and that's why I'm doing this to talk to you. Change your lives. It doesn't matter what ministry you are working at. Fisheries, the same thing. Seen waaye yaa ngi noonu suñ géej gi every single time ñu ngi dégg all kinds of things happening at our seas. Jën léegi doom bu góor la Gambia. Last week la suma gaay mujjee def vox pop di laaj ni ñi affaire yi jën. People have resorted to eating chicken yi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko indi that are not probably very vetted. Not even vetted. Why? Because ganaar gaa gën a yomba, mbaga yaa gën a yomba, tanka yaa gën a yomba. The average Gambian person wants to get into this instead of going to ñu facilitate suñ géej gi jën yi fa nekka naka lañ ko nappee jël ko process ko defar ko and even export. Am nañ enough jën pour feed dëkk bi ba pare export mu créer revenue. But instead of that, international bodies yi, institutions yi, Chinese yi, Europeans yi, Senegalese yi ñoom leen jox license yi suñ dëkk bi ñu nekk di provide fishing. Ñuy fish. Nga wax ñu ne la ne si 100-mile radius yi or 50 miles or however many miles radius ñooñu waru ñoo fish foofu. We have reliable information suñ nappakat yi ci réew mi ñi nekk Bara ñi nekk Banjul ñi nekk Tanje ak lii ñu ngi complain loolu all the time that these international people are there, they are fishing in our waters si foo xam ne is prohibited pour gaay fish foofu noonu. Bu yàggul rek gis nañ Maligan investigation biñ publish fii li nga xam ne Moustapha Keita publish na ko bu yàggul. We've seen it. This is the fact. ñi nekk Ministry of Fisheries, what are they doing? Nga dem ci forestry suñ xanxa yi dëkk bi yëpp àll bi yëpp dog nañ ñax yi dog nañ suñ garab yëpp. This is not okay. I'm not just talking about one department. Dama dooree immigration, dooree airport, dooree police yi, health sector bi, forestry suñ àll bi yëpp dog nañ ko. International organizations, bodies and institutions are giving these licenses for them to be operating. They don't care. Suñ ñëwee dañoo dog suñ àll bi yëpp yóbbu fu ngeen leen jox license fu ngeen leen joxut license amu leen capacity to monitor and evaluate and follow these people. ñi ngeen wax ne ñu fish suñ navy bi ak ñii do they have the sophisticated equipment to be able to follow through with them to see Chinese yi ngeen jox license ndax ñu ngi operate fi ngeen leen wax ndax Senegalese yi ngeen jox license ñu ngi operate fi ngeen leen wax ndax European yi ngeen jox license ñu ngi ko operate. Ngeen ne European si license bi ñu leen jox pour ñu jël tuna rek la ndax tuna rek la gaay di jël foofu. These are things that need to be looked at. Amu leen di sophisticated equipment and even if you have it leneen li leen rey mooy corruption. They bribe you, you allow them to fish in our waters. Look at the public interest, for heaven's sake. If you are working in the health sector, look at the public interest. Nga xam ne nga def loo xam ne dina nekk the interest of the public rather than seen own personal interest. If you are working in the immigration sector, consider loolu. In the police sector, consider loolu. Comme ni ma ko waxee dem di jox nit ku amul license ngeen jox nit license ku ko yelloowul wala nit amul license dawal ñëw rombaleen ci mbedda mi ngeen jël benn $50 100 200 ci loxoom ngeen la consider leen public interest kooku su demee mu rey nit. You have blood on your hands. Education wax naa ko suñ system bi is so dilapidated, so backwarded, every year dafa gën a worse. It's not okay. It's not. Tourism bi Minister of Tourism Amat Bah ngi topp président bi ñu ngi busy seen launching NPP bi ñu ngi busy si dem di tour dëkk bi tay yi yépp ci loolu lañ nekka ngeen ne da ngeen a xeex corona airport bi yéen a bàyyi foofu noonu nekk di sonal semester si di past 2 weeks 3 weeks président bi for the past month and a half depuis November ba tey mu ngee criss cross dëkk bi di dem left and right fu nekk ngeen gis thousands of people gathering, and this Saturday you will have thousands of people gathering at the Independence Stadium. In fact, we got a tip of that am na ñuy plan pour demonstrate because forma nañ inter school forma nañ programme yu bari yoo xam ne ñu ngi ko doon war def si stadium bi ñu ne président bi dafa def programme at the stadium. We just got that. PIU officers. When I was told, I told them officer boobu dañ ko war a dàqa ñu ne lu xew benn officer moo nekk si moto nit yaa ngi ànd kenn si suñ staff yaa ngi ànd ak ñoom officer bi di wax ne ok well ñoom ñu ngi prepare because dañ dégg ne there's an alleged planned demonstration on Saturday because NPP ñu ngi ko launch and dafa wax ñu wax ne ñoom defuñ programmes yu bari yu doon xew si stadium bi joxuñ leen access pour ñu def ko. Youth see are planning to demonstrate, and the PIU officers are getting ready for that. Another coffee jar. President, this is the last thing that should be done. Jamono coronavirus lañ nekk, you are not taking it serious. Watch them launch NPP, suñ paree tëj dëkk bi. Su fitna jógee président bi la ak ñoñam. Su fitna jógee ñoom la. Politicians yi wax nañ ko. Ñu ne dafa def li moo def ba pare. Su pare ne dafa tëj dëkk bi. Léegi watch them am def NPP launching bi suñ paree teg ay measures ne dañoo ñëw xeex corona li kan moo leen a faale a lawmaker should not be a lawbreaker. Xel jëriñu daral dul xelaat, and you must do things in accordance with the interest of the public and the people. Remember, yéen civil servants yi that supposedly might be used, whether some of these things da ngeen koo def si seen coobere boppa or you are going to be giving directives and authorization or directives from the top. Remember, governments come and go, but guess what? The country stays. The country stays. The citizen stays. Ana ñi fa nekkoon di xeexal Yaya Jammeh di ko defal yéen ay all these years, where are they? ñu ngi ci tuuxi duna ñu bari si ñoom ñooy dem ci TRRC bi ñoo dem ci Jaane commission yi ñoom ñoo dem ci commission si ñoo establish yëpp. You have to understand, governments come and go, but the people stay. ñun ñëpp ay mbokkale ñun ñëpp a bokka. Bàyyi leen seen xel. Don't betray the public. Serve the public interest. Serve the public interest. Su ngeen munee def leen, su ngeen munut ngeen joxe léegi keneen ko mun ñëw. We cannot continue to fail our nation. We are far behind. Far behind. Represent the public interest. If people come with ideas, people come with great initiatives, people come with in other countries, that's what is happening there. That's what is happening in America and other places. China, India, you name it, Singapore, different places. Until 50 years ago, they were so backwarded. Gambian upon foof. Gambian genuna develop probably. Wala ñu nekk average. You see some of these places, they have turned their countries around in no time. What do they do? How did they do it? It's not magic. They compete each other with ideas, innovations, creations. They challenge each other by creating, innovating, starting. They do all kinds of things at the end of the day to make sure they are moving in accordance with the demands of time. Unlike our country, where we fight each other, where we bully each other, where we harass each other, where we pull each other down. It's sad and unfortunate. Yaxante, ŋañante, reyante, daanelante, uñëwante sutura rek. Dëkk boo xam ne nag respectuñ borom xam-xam, dama koy wax saay bu nekk. Dëkk boo xam ne respectuñ jàngkat. Dëkk boo xam ne respectuñ kilifa. Dëkk boo xam ne respectuñ ñuy jéem. Gannaaw rek la ñuy dem. su ma laajtee lu tax Gambia du dem ba tuddee suma programme bi noonu ñu ne da nga négatif ceeñ ko waaye ma xamalaat leen ko fàttali suma bopp fàttali leen ne suñ dëkk du dem fenn fii nii lañ mel. Suñ dëkk bi du dem fenn fii nii lañ mel. fee nii lañ mel suñ dëkk bi du dem fenn it's rather unfortunate nañ leen respect people kuy jéem dañ koo dimbale kuy jéem dañ koo tàggat xawma kenn waaye man I choose to support the youth by creating a platform where they can come and learn skills yoo xam ne they are real life skills they are current issues skills yoo xam ne dina leen mun a njëriñ léegi ñenn ñi ma jël leen employ leen I am proud to inform you and tell you ne in the past 3 years jàngal nañ ci Gambian Talents over 120 young people multimedia related skills from journalism, videography, graphic design, web design, computer maintenance and repairs, public speaking, marketing. These are the fields that we have taught the young people. We employed a good number of them. Some have been employed by other institutions and the rest have been self-employed. Kumusta janga, and these are young people ñoo xamne musu ñoo am opportunity. I'm not just saying any young people that I go in for young people with no experience, young people that have never ñu musta tok ci bang pour janga formal education, ñoo xamne dañ drop out of school, ñoo xamne dañ jeexal school tok ben at ñaari at ñetti at all the way to 13 years. I've heard somebody who graduated from high school and was sitting down for 13 years. I brought her over and trained her. These are young men and women. Suñ sisters yoo xam ne dañ doon dem di Tambambalu Sénégambia di Tambambalu si bij bi ñoom koto yii di leen téye di leen caxat-caxatee jox leen mobile jëndal leen reer jox leen $500,000 si here and there jëndal leen chevaux téye leen di leen caxat-caxatee biiral leen wala di leen foyee wala young men who would have been criminals, who would have been robbing banks and killing you and killing my family and intimidating us and taking drugs and doing all kinds of criminal activities. These are the people that we bring in. Guess what? We bring in backway returnees, those that have been through the backway, ñu delloo si leen wala ñoom seen boppa ñu return by themselves and they're sitting home, have nothing going on for them. They are depressed, they are frustrated. ñii laay jox the chance. And moo tax when you see them reporting on the Gambian Talents, you don't know. Might be the person reporting that you are caricaturing and mocking and making fun of. Maybe he is a depressed person. Ko xamne mu ngi joge back way waye jox nako opportunity mu ngi def lolu distract nako commencer na di enjoy lolu depression am bangé dem danka danka te nanu ben garab jëlul ben pills. I know the work that we are doing in Gambia. It's not small work. It's a big risk. Si yaxa suma bagage lañ dëkka. Cameras, memory cards, flash drives, tripods, ci yaxa bagage lañ dëkka tey lañ leen jógee address to remind them, to train them. You look at them képp ku ñëw si platform boobu ngeen seet them from when they started until fiñ tollu dooree ko nag ci Fatou Samba dem ci ñoom Ramatulaay Gueye ñi fa jaar ñoom Aida Kebe ngeen seet ñi jaar Gambian Talents yépp from the first day they came to Gambian Talents until the fiñ tollu nii wala otherwise. Ngeen seet niñ leen tàggatee ak fiñ nekk and how much they improve. That would tell you ne dañ nekk di liggéey bu bari. They have classes twice a week to learn the theory. It's 25% theory and 75% practical. This coming week, they should be having a class with Suma Uncle Buhari Gassama nekk ci Sweden, who will be teaching them on conflict resolutions and management. Conflict resolution and management. We've had trainings with them on how to cover riots, demonstrations, and emergency situations. We have had trainings with them on the media laws, the libel laws, and scandal laws of the Gambia. They know better. We've had trainings with them where we teach them the ethics of journalism and the work and what they need to do. Continuing education is what we provide to these young people. The standards I see in America is what I try to bring to the Gambia. And that is why we operate 24/7, 7 days a week. We have shifts. As we speak right now, there are people at the office working. There are people who come in the morning. There are people who come in the afternoon. These young people make their own schedules to come here and learn these things. So do caaxaan. Effort bobu, initiative bobu, su ngeen ko supported as a government, bulen ko yaka, bulen damalafi ndaw yi. If the immigration or the airport PRO could eventually allow us to do our work, lan moo taxoon mu créer drama bi yëpp waaye tax ba Mr Joof 6 7 8 hours defu dara loolu nekk si lii lan moo tax Fat Samba wax na ba xubu daas ba boppam bi di métti ak ñoom ti and he would tell us Fat Samba is here smiling. She wasn't smiling, she was stressed out. She couldn't come to terms with you or agree with you or negotiate with you, and that's why she handed the phone to me. That's why she asked me to talk to you, because mom try na lu mun yëpp. Eventually bàyyi ngeen leen ñu def seen liggéey, and this is what we go through. Now block us, ignore us, def ñu leen ñu seen black book bi, don't include us in anything you have. We will continue to talk, we will continue to show the public ñun liñ xam, liñ gis, what our investigation give us. If you shut your doors to us, so be it. Du tere ñu wax loolu ngeen xamut. Def leen ñu ni ñu Ibrahima Sankare def. Government spokesperson, he doesn't send us press releases, he doesn't involve us or invite us on anything that the government does. Ci moom li moo def as if moom moo ko moom. As if moo ko moom. Def leen ñu ni ñu police yi doon def Lamin Jaay ak police yi. They didn't involve us on anything. Eventually we had to address it and continue to talk. We are not a small institution. Lola yalla dogal. Right now we have over 300,000 combined following across all social media. Lima wax is not a lie. Go to our Facebook page, you will see it. Over 202,000 followers lañ am fofu. Just Facebook. Go to our YouTube page, it has over 41,000 followers. Go to our Instagram page, it has over 42,000 followers. Go to our Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, and all these places. So we have a combined following of over 300,000 followers. And those people, they ought to be given the right information. If you are custodian of information and nga nobako, nga prevent them from having it. Ya nge xeñ Gambian public be information, the right information. So defante ngene because pa os affaire am neexul la, Fat Samba affaire am neexul la, defante wulo ñun de. Ñoñu nga xañ information. Legi nak we will show them the side that we have. If you choose for us not to show your side, we will show the other side. We want it to be fair and balanced. This is no defante. This is just the fact. You must open your doors to the public. They are entitled to know what is happening. So if you are a civil servant and you are watching me, or you are working at any institution, so nekut civil servants, you could be working for any private company. Do not betray the trust of the customers and the people you serve. They deserve to know. They deserve for you to tell them the truth, the reality. They deserve for you to work. So ñëwee suba instead of ngeen ñëw balaa ngeen a ndéewoo 11 o'clock ngeen a pare si ngeen a commencé get on it. Customers come to your place ngeen war a ibbi 8 o'clock ñu nekk fa depuis 6 7 o'clock di rang ngeen ibbi 8 da ngeen am pour get seen boppa together dem ndéewoo toppatoo def li ngeen a def taal seen computers yi yennay ngeen jaar marché ñëwaat yennay ngeen dem dëj ñëwaat dem sarax ñëwaat dem jëndi lii jëndi le ron ay errands ñëwaat. It's not fair to the public. If you serve people, that is not how you are expected to be acting. You are betraying a trust if that's what you do. Danga am pour dem dewo topoto sa soxla yep bala nga ñew dédit. If you are supposed to be there at 8 o'clock, serve 8 o'clock. So ñewut 8 wala commencé wulo be 10. What you are doing, precedence bi nga create moy so warona serve 20 people in the day, you may end up serving 8 or 9 people. That is cheating the system. That is cheating the people. That is cheating the country. Wala do ñewante at all. Te so pare claim ko. But that's what happened when there are no systems in place. If there were systems in place that they clock in and clock out and they only get paid what they clock in or li ñoo lifin de ko nit ñi dinañ gëna serious. Why? Because monthly salary la, so they may jot sa salary. So they would jot sa salary at the end of the day. They don't care because at the end of the month they just go and pick up their salaries. It doesn't matter how many days they work. It doesn't matter. So you waroon na liggéey a 40-hour week, they end up only working for 20 hours, 25 hours, 15 hours are wasted doing nothing. The average day of the average civil servant in the Gambia, they are productive for less than 3-4 hours out of the 8-9 hours that they go to work. That is very unfair. That's very unfair. And you are productive for less than 2 hours in doing your job. That's not fair to the people. You're cheating the people. And we must change these habits and these mentalities if we want our country to go far. We blame the government. You are the government. You are the government. Change starts within. Ni ma ko dee waxee suñu yàlla indiloon malaayka Jibril indil ñu yonent yàlla Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ak yonent yim àndal yépp indil ñu Jesus Christ ak ñiñ àndal yépp suñu yàlla boole loon all the religious people, great religious people in the world, su leen jëloon sax def leen suñ président yi dëkka laa wax de any of them fee nit ñi wecci wuñ suñ jikko kooku du ci mën dara du ñu mënal dara. This is just the fact. It starts from within. It starts from you and I. It starts from being able to say no. It starts from knowing that this is not right. And you do it. And you take care of it. Like I said, we've been frustrated. In the Gambia, I do this project without any funding from Gambia. Knocked on doors, nothing. Taxul ma give up. Taxul ma relent. Maa ngi continuer di def li ma def di góorgóorloog ndaw yi ñuy sooxaale di raam di jóg ñuy déglu ñu leen a jàngal. America gi ma nekk nii I don't have to struggle. I didn't want to do this. I wasn't prepared to do this. Just because we are registered here and we are serving the interests of the Gambian people, we got funding to open our own office space, and we are doing all kinds of projects here, supporting the Gambian people with food, with grocery assistance, with bill payment, and all kinds of things. Ci ñoo xam ne just for supporting Gambians, we open an office space. The same internship program we did in Gambia, we are doing here in America. I have funding to do this. Like I said, I was setting up the office. A lot of things are going on. I didn't want to show this. As you can see, this is the studio that I'm setting up here. I'm setting up, as you can see. You see all kinds of stuff. My get set up better. Things are not even ready. I'm setting up the place. I have all kinds of stuff here. Yo xamne, I have funding to do this. Gambia would not do anything. Fu nekk maa ngi faa dugga di génn di dem di ñëw di lijjanti, support for these young people. I have nothing less than 100 people applying for this thing every single time, and I have difficulty with them giving me any funding, any support to do anything. I can only bring 15 or 20 at a time in Gambia, but we have nothing less than 100 people applying for this project. At every single time, what happened to the other 85 people who don't have something to do in the Gambia? We will be providing the same internship here in America. We have the stuff that we need here that we have funding for. Didn't have to struggle to get it. You just need to prove that what you are doing is legit, is right, and you get it. Whereas in Gambia, information rek lañ munta am more difficult so much. And everywhere I go to look for funding, su dee America la, dinañ ma wax ne ma lii ak lii ak lii ak lii nga soxla, soo amutee lii fii nga ko utee, soo amutee lii fii nga ko utee, versus Gambia nga xam ne dinañ la lifin ba nga xubu daas at the end of the day. At the end of the day, like I said, let me even show this. I didn't want to do this. This is the office here, Gambian Talents office, that we are trying to set up here. The same thing we are doing in Gambia, we are replicating here. This is supposed to be a production room where we will be doing some editing and training people that are interested in multimedia skills. The Gambian youth that are here, we will be teaching them on journalism, videography, graphic design, web design, and the like. The same thing we are doing in Gambia. This is going to be that production room. We are still setting it up. This is not ready. We are doing, but the situation is triggering me. And this is supposed to be a meeting room right here, where we will be doing a lot of projects. As you can see right now, we have, stuff here that we are storing. This is supposed to be a meeting room here at the office. This is supposed to be my office here. You have so many things that I'm setting up. Nothing is together yet. Superewo, new one, but Ghana situation be them. You can see we are still setting up. Still setting up. Yes. See this? See this? All being set up. Yepsi studio bila. We are trying to set up this place. Proper studio. You can see this. You can see this. We provide different services from here. Niduma pour struggle pour any funding for these things. Ci lila nekon ci suba betay lila don try pour def, and I had to leave this to come out and do this video to educate our freaking officials in Gambia. This is supposed to be for the interns and people that want to apply for jobs here, people that want to apply for all kinds of benefits, Gambians that want to apply for stuff in Washington. This is a full office that we have here, that we have funding for, without any hassles, without any struggles. It's been set up. Parengut. I didn't want to show this. Bugumako wana wane. Until it is all done. So Limadef in Gambia is for the youth. It's benefiting them. It's rather unfortunate. Why we are not going to relent, we'll continue to fight this fight, to do the little that we can for our people, for our youth. I call on all of you to join me in providing skills for our people, in training our people, in taking our youth off the streets. And we want to do this by tapping, nurturing, promoting talents, as well as educating our people. So to all public officials, my message to you is, remember, governments come and go, the people stay, the country stay. And you must learn from the TRRC, you must learn from the Jane Commission, you must learn from the other commissions that are established. And then you nekk on time PPP. Pare nañ Algali Commission was set up. And then you nekk ci time Yaya Jammeh. Pare nañ these other commissions are set up. The same thing can happen with Barrow's government. So defee anything ci sa coobere boppa wala nga def anything ci loo xam ne dañ la ko wax, dañ la jox directives, yow yaay dugg ci tuuxi duuna. Satisfy the politicians nag ñu dem bàyyi la fi yow yaak sa njaboot ak public bi ngeen dëkka together. maa ngi leen a gërëm leen santa kàddu gi li ci rafet rek ci yàlla la ci ñaaw si ñun la jërë ngeen jëf.